now that there's been a resurgence of dudes rapping, and dudes is spitting now, you know what I mean? I was hoping Nas would be more on his rapping, and he would just be spitting, and we'll get more of the Nas that we was used to years ago. We got dudes that's out here in the trenches rapping right now. Ransom. So I was hoping we would get some of that on Nas's first King Disease. Maybe we might get it on this album right here. Maybe we'll get some real live dudes spitting on this album. Fingers crossed. But I'm not holding my breath. Ransom.
Ransom's the rapping version of Marvin Hagler. The bars I plaster may be causing asthma.
This is probably the first time in a long time Nas has dropped 2 full-fledged albums and 2 projects in less than a year, actually. I think it happened once before when he dropped Stillmatic, and shortly thereafter that, I think in about a year's time, or a little bit less than that, he came out with the Godson album, which was 2 actually good albums by Nas, very good. Stillmatic was an outstanding album, and Godson was a good album as well. And I think once before in 1996, when he came out with It Was Written, and then shortly thereafter, between a year, a little bit over a year, maybe under a year, the Firm album was released with Nas. I wanted to say Cormega, but Mega wasn't on that one. It was Nas, Foxy Brown, AZ, and my man Nature. Shout out to Nature, one of the most slept on lyricists of the early 2000s, late 90s, and Nature is still doing his thing. But yeah, Nas is scheduled to drop the sequel, King Disease 2, this upcoming Friday. What is it, August 6th? I think it is this upcoming Friday, August 6th. And details about this album are very slim and none. I mean, this album has really kind of been in the tuck and on the low. It's been on the Lizzie, it's been on the low. Shout out to Lizzo too. I see you doing your thing over there on Instagram. But anyway, anywho, back on the spot. This album has actually been crafted on the low. If you remember, I don't know if you remember, I know I remember Nas doing an interview with, I think it was Hot 97, back when the King Disease album first came out, maybe it was about shortly thereafter, about a year ago. He said that he was in the studio, and he was cooking up. He was going to keep the beat and keep the pace going of the momentum that he had to make a King Disease because he had so much fun making the album. I think it was on IG or online social media, some pictures surfaced of Nas being in the studio with Dr. Dre. And, hopefully, I'm hoping, that was an actual studio session that came into fruition, and we'll get to see the makings of that studio session and the work that was crafted in that studio session, the work that was crafted in that studio session on this King Disease 2 album. I don't know who the producers are on this album, but if you follow certain people on Instagram and other social media, sites, whether it be, hip hop blogs or whether it be Twitter, you'll kind of be able to puzzle and piece together who Nas is working with on this album. Earlier this week on IG, as you can see, Nas's producer, who he worked with on the original King Disease, who solely produced the whole album, Hit Boy, produced some pictures of Nas and him chilling on IG earlier this week, and he said, get ready, you know what I'm saying? We back in the studio. He just said something like, get ready, we back in business. And they both had on, as you can see, the fisherman hats on, like EPMD, we're back in business, like that song him and Hit Boy produced. The song EPMD produced by Hit Boy that Nas came out with a couple months ago, roughly at the top of the year. But yeah, they rocking their fisherman hats like EPMD, and I'm beginning to piece this together that Hit Boy is collaborating fully, I'm assuming, on this whole album with Nas, and he's producing it again. And Nas is riding the wave. He's riding the success of his Grammy award-winning album King Disease. So I'm pretty sure Nas was like, yo, let me ride this wave, let me cash in while I'm hot. You know what I'm saying? While the masses is checking for me, since King Disease won a Grammy, not only just the inner circles of the hip hop community, was checking for Nas, but Nas got that critically acclaimed recognition from, a lot of the people that do in industry. Nas got that critically acclaimed fame now. And so Nas is like, I guess you could say he has like a newfound success right now, maybe possibly, even though Nas has been popping for the last 25 years. It's just that, when you win a Grammy, that puts you on a whole different kind of scope. It puts the scope on you a little bit differently than it does when you just out here, doing your thing, and you got the respect from the streets and you got the respect from the hip hop community. So Nas is just out here now. He's hit the stratosphere. you know what I'm saying, with his newfound success, and congratulations to him. But I was hoping really on this album, production wise, that Nas would go in a different direction, a different way, different journey. I was hoping that we could maybe see some Primo. I know, I'm a hip hop purist, and maybe it's because it's my roots. At least one Primo track on this album. I'm not gonna hold my breath for it, but you know, I was hoping that Nas was gonna go into a different direction musically. I was hoping Nas would go in a different direction because as I did my King Disease review last year when the album first came out, I thought the album was okay. I gave it, you know, roughly 3.5 mics. Go check my review out on my YouTube channel. Type in King Disease, Nas, AP on the spot. YouTube, just type in AP on the spot, King Disease review, and you'll be able to see it. But yeah, I thought the album was roughly like 3.5 mics. I thought it was okay, you know, but I was hoping for a little bit more, you know, edgier Nas. And full disclosure, I'm not a huge fan of Hit Boy's production. I think he's okay. I think Hit Boy is good for what he does. I think Hit Boy surprisingly did an outstanding job crafting Benny's album. But I think Hit Boy, you know, I think Hit Boy is overrated. I think he's a good producer. You know, I'm not gonna slander him because he does something behind the boards that I can't do right now, which is produce and do that, hit them beats and tap them beats and be on them drum machines and do that music. I think he's, you know, slightly overrated. But, you know, that's a whole nother topic, comparing producers and things like that. I still tend to go with the Primos and, you know, producers like the up and coming producers like P.A. Dre, who's did a lot of work for, you know, R.J. Payne. You know, P.A. Dre is one of the dope producers of this era right now. We also have Nicholas Craven, who works with Ransom, exceptional producer, and Big Ghost LTD, who did Ransom's a brand new album, who's been putting in work for the last couple years, been doing albums, you know, with Conway. And he most recently, just a week ago, crafted Ransom's classic album, Heavy is the Head, which I think is, you know, pretty much the best album to come out in 2021 so far this year. So I was hoping that we would maybe get and can't forget about Derringer, of course, who crafts the Griselda sound. The bulk of the Griselda sound. Shout out to Derringer. So I was hoping that we would get Nas more going back to working with producers like that. But hey, he figured, look, if it ain't broke, then don't fix it, because he's, you know, locked in with Hit Boy, because Hit Boy got this, you know, newfound, I guess Hit Boy is his new Primo. I don't know about that, but you know, according to Nas, I mean, Hit Boy is his new producer that he's working with. That's his right hand man when it comes to the beat. So I don't know. We'll see what this King Disease 2 is going to be sounding like when it drops this upcoming Friday on August 6th. I'm curiously interested to see how it's going to sound, and of course, I'm gonna break it down and have a review for that too. So come right back to this channel and check it out. Yo, you already know who it is. It's AP on the spot.